Beautiful, thank you. Oh, looks so good. Oh my god. Oh my god, look at these ribs. Oh my god, look at this. Ooh-wee. Oh my gosh, are you serious? Hey everybody. As you could tell, I was pretty excited to see this kind of food. An amazing looking platter of ribs, of wings, calamari, potato wedges, and garlic bread. I knew there was chicken and ribs and pizza in Vietnam, but I never expected anything to look so good. I'm at the Vincom Center in Da Nang, Vietnam. You might think that Vietnam's a long ways away, but it's not that difficult to get there. In fact, more and more countries are lowering their restrictions, and people are taking this opportunity to go out and travel to places that they've always wanted to travel to. In fact, now Taiwan is allowing transfers ever since July 2022. When I transferred through Taiwan, Taoyuan Airport in Taipei, I encountered a lot of people that were eager to travel and see the world. I think everybody felt that this is the time. This is the time to live your life and go about doing things that you've always wanted to do. I get pretty depressed when I look at world news and world politics, but what was encouraging was to see people getting back to normal. People were traveling and touring and visiting other countries, experiencing new cultures. It was wonderful. I was in Taiwan and I got to try Taiwan beef noodles and dumplings. And although it's a food court at the airport, it was still quite an experience, and it was really good. There was a lot of things I've never seen before, and I got real excited because there were so many restaurants with things I've never seen before. Going on vacation domestically doesn't give me this kind of an experience. These are all new and fascinating, things that I've never experienced before. I looked forward to my trip because Da Nang is one of my favorite cities in Vietnam. And if you've been following my channel, you know that I love pho. And where else can you start off each day with a steaming hot bowl of pho? This is a place that serves up northern style Vietnamese pho noodles. There's something about a hot bowl of pho in the morning. Beefy broth, a little less sweeter than the southern style. Perfectly textured noodles, and I love the condiments that they have here. Simple vegetables, but the pickled garlic and the hot sauce that's slightly different. Only in Vietnam. As far as the quality of the beef, I will say that it is a little better in the US, especially if they have the thinly sliced rare steak, which is extremely tender. It's a little bit more tough here, but still has that incredible flavor. And there are just so many good places to go. There are many good pho places and noodle places. But afterwards, you can just go to all kinds of places for coffee. There's so many cafes and coffee shops. You can meet up with friends, and the culture of Vietnam is just so fun and alive. I'm not Vietnamese, nor do I know anything about this country other than what I've learned from my own research. But I'm not the only one to have said this, that there is something about Vietnam that makes it so easy to fall in love with this culture. There is a soul, there's some kind of a substance here, where you feel like you're not wasting your life. This is a market where you can bargain and shop, and there are all kinds of markets. And it's just like back home. You can go shopping at the mall and pay premium price, or you can go to the outlets or the stores along some of the streets where you'll find better prices. Here you can bargain and you can even haggle. It's kind of a fun experience in its own. In Da Nang, you have the Khan Market, the Han Market, a couple of other stores that I can't quite remember. There's street shops. There are streets where they have clothing stores that have really good prices. Those are the more practically priced places to go. But sometimes you want to go to the malls, because when I was in Thailand, I was just amazed by the quality of the malls. And even in Vietnam, the Vincom Center is one of those malls. They also have Lotte Center and some other places that are really nice as well. But Vincom Center has just about everything you want. I even bought some clothes at H&M, which is one of my favorite stores. But they also have food courts and Jollibee's, which is a Filipino chain specializing in fried chicken, which is also very popular in Las Vegas. As I expected, the food court at this mall was filled with restaurants that I don't normally see back at home. The menus were incredible, the pictures were exquisite, and if you like a different experience than the street experience, go to the malls. Their food courts are quite impressive. I wish that I could try every restaurant, but that would take some time, and I did enjoy the street food as well. Not just the street food, but the little restaurants that are in the middle of the city, in the heart of the city, and as well as the outskirts. There are all kinds of places to eat. I couldn't help my pizza craving again, and there was a place in here called Al Fresco's. The menu looked really appealing, and I was really feeling like pizza. I'm always feeling like hot mozzarella cheese and pizza sauce and dough, and they had some other things that looked interesting as well. I love trying new sauces, and they had some sauces here that I've never seen before. It's like when I'm experiencing something different while I'm traveling. Whenever I encounter something different, it's always something fascinating and interesting. The platter that I got was kind of like a sampler because it had a little bit of everything. I came here mainly because of my pizza craving, but I couldn't help ordering this even though I knew it might be a little bit too much food. I just had to try their ribs and chicken wings, and it also had calamari potatoes and onion rings. Their pizza, we got a half and half. I got half of what looked like the biggest meat combo, and then a seafood pizza because I don't see too much of that back home. In Thailand, they have something called a tom yum pizza, which is incredibly good. I got so addicted to that. It had shrimp and an incredible sauce and a flavor that I just loved. I wish they had that in America. I wish somebody would bring that here or make it here. The thing that impressed me most about this platter were the ribs. Now, there's a lot of good barbecue in the US, and you can't replace that, nor can you replace a good New York style pizza or your classic hot wings, buffalo style hot wings. But here in Vietnam, this is something I did not expect. So meaty. Look at the meat on this rib. It was so amazing. The onion rings and the calamari, they were not as crispy fried. It just kind of had a layer of batter. Not exactly soggy, but just kind of soft rather than crunchy. I do prefer the crunchy. Nevertheless, everything was tender and tasty, and the sauces were really good as well. The calamari was not chewy, it was tender and went well with the sauces that they gave us. When I'm traveling and trying new foods, sometimes I kind of crave things that I'm used to. I mean, I had tons of street food. I've had tons of noodle dishes and rice dishes and exotic dishes, but sometimes you want something that you're used to. And every now and then you get a craving for French fries or potato wedges. Sometimes you get a craving for steak or pizza. And sometimes you get a craving for sushi. I mean, they have everything. So no matter what it is that you crave, you can find it here. And that's the good thing. A food court at the mall has just about everything you want. In my next video, I'll show you some of the room service options where you can get a good, decent quality steak, a good burger and fries. I mean, you're well taken care of here. Wherever you go, you can find the food that you crave. These wings were pretty good. They weren't crispy, they weren't extremely hot like the buffalo wings that I love, but they were still good. And with the ribs and the potatoes, it just kind of hit the spot. The chicken wings were cooked well. They were moist. They weren't dried out. Like I said, it could be a little more crispier, but it seemed like nothing came out too crispy. The ribs were extremely tender. It was so tender that I could just take my knife and just peel the meat right off. It just fell right off the bone. It didn't have much of a char. It didn't have much of a smoky flavor. American barbecue is really good with the smoky char on these ribs, but these were more tender, kind of different. So yeah, it is different from a classic American barbecue, but you can even find classic American barbecue here in Vietnam. Some places do have that. As far as the pizza goes, it wasn't extremely large, and I will say the dough and the pizza was a little bit different. However, the flavor was still good: pizza sauce, melted cheese, and meats. And then they had a pretty impressive garlic bread. Once again, these could have been toasted at a higher heat, I believe, to make it a little crispier on the outside. However, everything was delicious, and I really enjoyed the food here at Al Fresco's. And Al Fresco's is not just at the mall here at Vincom Center, they're all over town. It's a good solid place if you're craving pizza, ribs, and wings, although there are other options around town. I do have a lot more videos that I think is too good not to share, so I will have more videos from Vietnam, but that'll do it for this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.